But it doesn't. Does it need to be road relevant though? Like it's a different. Like it's not stock car racing. You know what I mean? And I mean I know there's nothing stock about a stock car, but it's like it's not supposed to be that. I don't know. Tell me what to think, please. What's up, squad? It's your Squid, aka the Anxious Squid, here at Anxious Squid Productions. You already know what the video on stuff is about because of the title and the thumbnail, so let's just get straight into it.
Formula One engine program. Porsche is seriously considering a Formula One engine program, and a decision on whether it will join the grid in 2026 is expected very soon. F1 hopes automotive powerhouse the Volkswagen Group will commit to the series for its new engine formula in 2026 with its two leading motorsport brands,
Volkswagen
Porsche
and Porsche.
Alright,
yeah, that answers that.
Tie-up with Red Bull's new powertrains division.
It's saying like often I'll ask a question and then he'll answer it in the video, but you guys will help me out and answer it in the comments anyway. It's funny, it's good, I like it. But yeah, that it's not quite happened it's not happened in a while like that before, where I've asked the question as he's answering it. But yeah, I didn't realise Porsche was Volkswagen, like part of that group.
With Porsche making clear its interest is real, but it has some clear demands attached. While we crack on with explaining the latest developments in this potentially huge story for F1, let us know if you're excited by the prospect of a new major manufacturer joining
is it good?
grid,
is it bad? Does it dilute the talent pool?
Another case of the VW Group appearing interested in F1 but not following through with it.
No, there must be a bit of history there. They must have done it before. Alright, so what are Porsche's demands? Is it Porsche or Porsche?
Motorsport Managing Director Thomas Laudenbach has said it is not a secret we are seriously considering an F1 program. But increased commitment to electrification from F1 is one of the key things Porsche needs to see in order to consider F1 worthwhile.
Porsche's main making demands though,
in recent years have been the all-electric Formula E series and its LMP1 car, the 919.
It's a bit like making demands at a job interview, you know what I mean? Like it's like, I don't know, that seems like an interesting dynamic to me. What position are Porsche in to make demands, you know what I mean? Surely it's a coveted thing that they would be applying for, not like, yeah, that's interesting to me. Anyway, somebody explain that for me in the comments.
Electrical energy focus. F1 has used V6 turbo hybrids since 2014, but the electrical component only contributes around 20% to the total power output. And the tech centerpiece of these power units is the complicated NGU-H. It's a tremendously clever piece of engineering that harvests wasted heat energy, is at the center of the energy recovery system, and is what has allowed F1 to achieve unprecedented levels of thermal efficiency. But it serves no real-world purpose, as it cannot be transferred to production vehicles, so its position as a road-relevant piece of tech is weak. F1 and governing body, the FIA, are planning a new engine formula in 2026.
It's a bit more standardised and
output from a simplified hybrid power unit without an NGU-H element. Laudenbach has said the FIA has made a huge step towards keeping F1 road relevant. He said,
but it doesn't. Does it need to be road relevant though? Like it's a different. Like it's not stock car racing. You know what I mean? And I mean I know there's nothing stock about a stock car, but it's like it's not supposed to be that. You know, like that's interesting to me.
Towards electrification.
I didn't think it was supposed to be like regular cars.
Electric vehicle, we all know that. But I think there needs to be a much higher priority of the electric part of the powertrain. As an OEM, you want to show yourself in motorsport. It needs to be relevant to what happens on the road. The FIA has made a huge step towards that direction, so that's going to help. Porsche's second priority is that F1 changes its engine rules sufficiently so they would not be significantly behind the other manufacturers. F1's power units have not undergone major spec changes since 2014, so without a new manufacturer in 2026 would have a 15-year knowledge deficit to make up.
Alright, so that is pretty far really if you think about it.
For the 2014 changes years in advance. Laudenbach has acknowledged that and stated that it would make life very hard to join a championship with a set of rules in place for many years already. He said that didn't just apply to Porsche, claiming that anyone who thinks about entering F1 should always combine that with a major change in the rules so that everybody has got to make a step and you are not the only one that has to.
Yeah, that sort of makes sense, I guess.
Will sound a lot more familiar. It wants the expense under control. To achieve that, Porsche wants more standard parts in the engine to reduce the freedom in the engine and increase the freedom of the electric part.
But doesn't that cut down on the engineering aspect of the
other
Motorsport.
categories in terms of PR value, advertising value, and total fan base. But he
it's a tricky
countered,
one.
at the same time, you have to spend a lot of money. So I think another point is that cost control is in place. Probably the most important thing that I would say for a car manufacturer that needs to be fulfilled is that it really makes sense to
Yeah, you want to
enter.
make money. At the end
So
of the
that's
day,
what Porsche wants. Before we get on to explaining
You
how
want everyone to
can
make money.
those things happen, we
You don't
just
wanna be
wanted to
losing
say a
out.
quick thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our channel so far. Your support means a lot and is a great motivator for us to keep making as many videos
yeah, no
for you
dramas.
as we can.
As always, if you
you're
want to
not
watch
already
that
a
video
subscriber, but you like
that we're
what you see
reacting
here,
to, the link is
consider
right at the
hitting
bottom
that
of the
button and
description.
chiming the notifications bell
Good content
you'll
creator,
never
go and
miss
give 'em a
another
look.
video from us. It also means you'll be more likely to see posts from our community section of our channel, where we share fan polls, interesting images, and details of
Yeah,
major
as
news
I said,
stories
go and give them a
breaking
look
in
if you
F1.
want. The link's at the
It's a
bottom.
great way to keep up with what we do beyond the videos we release. As Laudenbach
And subscribe to my channel
increased
too. Please and thanks.
electrification appears to be the easiest demand to meet. F1 wants to retain the hybrid element as a key part of the 2026 engine's infrastructure.
Yeah.
Its plan to do that without the MGU-H is to increase the power output from the MGU-K
How?
from 120 kilowatts to
Yeah, that's
potentially
nice, but how?
350 kilowatts. This will likely have knock-on impacts for battery demands as well in
Yeah.
order to power the uprated MGU-K.
Exactly.
And it will come with other challenges. Energy recovery will likely be restricted to the rear axle, which will be a significant engineering task.
Yeah,
And
okay.
F1 is believed to be exploring various technical avenues that could help balance this under braking, such as active aerodynamics.
Okay.
There will also be a drivability issue.
So there's still a bit of an
Losing the
engineering,
MGU-H
like,
means dropping
even
what
with
is
the
effectively a
standardized-
sophisticated anti-lag.
Even with the standardized elements, there's new engineering elements that would have to come into play as well. So that's, you know, maybe some pros and cons should be listed in that sense. But I don't know. Tell me what to think, please.
System for the turbocharger, plus it's being replaced by increased power from the MGU-K. If all parties can agree on how to blend all this together, it will satisfy the second of Porsche's demands. Eliminating the MGU-H would wipe out a large part of the existing manufacturer's advantage because it would require an all-new power unit design. So Porsche would get its wish of every manufacturer needing to tackle a major project. That's also
Okay.
why Mercedes has balked
At
at
least that way
suggestions
they're
a Red Bull VW project
getting
should
what
be
they want in that
entitled to
sense.
some development concessions as a new manufacturer to help them catch up. Before it agrees to dropping the MGU-H and helping bring in Porsche and Audi, Mercedes wants assurances any joint engine program with Red Bull isn't going to get a massive helping hand at the same time.
Okay.
Where Porsche will find favour easily enough is its demand to manage costs. Getting rid of the MGU-H should help make F1's power units cheaper, but this alone is unlikely to be enough.
Right.
An engine cost cap is almost certain to be imposed, though there is still some disagreement on how much
A bit like a
spending
salary
should be
cap,
allowed.
I guess.
But at this point, it's worth pointing out that Porsche, and Audi for that matter, are already looking at a massively cut price F1 program.
Okay,
This
that's
wouldn't be
handy
a
for them.
completely standalone start from scratch F1 engine. We've mentioned a couple of times now how it would be linked with Red Bull's new in-house engine program. The
Okay.
basic point to understand about that collaboration is that it allows the companies to share the financial burden of developing an F1 engine as well as the technology required to do so.
Right,
And
so
if you
Red
want
Bull
more
aren't going to be in
background on
a
that,
Honda
check out the
anymore?
video we
They're going to
made
be in
about
a
it earlier this year.
Volkswagen, effectively, or? That's interesting. All of this is interesting. It's a bit of an
It was
information
initially thought that
overload,
a VW group
but it's
commitment to
interesting.
F1 would at best result in it choosing between Porsche or Audi joining the grid. Both have been present for the talks so far, but this has happened before and still led to nothing in the end. Previously, Porsche has gone as far as building a test version of a hybrid F1 engine and still never went through with a commitment. So they could rightly be concerned that the VW group could hold F1 to ransom and force it to
But how are
choose
they in a
exactly
position to
what
do
it
that?
wants.
Like,
But
that's...
Laudenbach insisted this situation is different, hinting that Porsche's interest could finally result in a real entry. He
Maybe,
said
I
a
guess.
lot of things
Who
are going
knows?
in
I
the
don't know
right
the history
direction
there.
concerning Formula One. Many of the factors, from what we know, might become true. This is something that makes it far more interesting for us than in the past years. It's therefore possible that both brands could enter F1, even though Porsche and Audi will each return to the Le Mans 24 Hours in 2023 in the LMDH category, and Porsche is still racing in Formula E until at least 2024.
Formula E is the electric vehicles,
This will all be possible thanks to the planned Red Bull tie-up, massively reducing the expense of an F1 programme, as Porsche and Audi could then take on partnerships with different teams. Obviously, Red Bull will be one, but the other could be one of the existing Mercedes-powered teams, most likely McLaren. We understand the decisive call could be made at a board meeting at the end of November and will almost certainly be known publicly by the end of this year. Loudenbach said, "One thing is clear, if such a decision is made, you can't wait too long. Because if you want to race in 2025 or 2026, you have to start at a certain time."
You know, in
That's
motion.
the latest on the VW Group's current flirtation with F1. Now you're up to speed. Let us know in the comments if you think we'll see Porsche or Audi join the grid in the future.
Yeah, likewise in my comments section.
Partner up with. And remember to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed our explanation, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so we can see you again.
Yeah, good video, good content creator. That was good. I enjoyed that. It's interesting though, because it's like, as I said a couple of times throughout the video, I don't understand why any car manufacturer would be in the position to make demands of the sporting body, you know? Like, in other sports, you got to pay either relocation fees or expansion fees. Like, you got to, and I mean, I know they've got to set up their whole team, but everyone had to set up their team at some point. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Tell me how to feel about that if you'd like. And yeah, go and engage with him in his comment section if you want to watch the video that was playing down there without me and my stuff and all that jazz, then feel free to do so. The link is right at the bottom of the description after all the stuff that makes me money. Speaking of money, I like money. Turning some of yours into mine on a monthly basis would be pretty cool. These cool people do that. You can get your name in that list. If you want a reaction request and whatnot, you can leave it in the comments and I might get to it. I might not. I definitely will if you pay me $5 a month though, so yeah, there's that. But as I said, leave all the comments I need you to leave, and leave a like and hit subscribe, and I'm going to keep filming. I have some more Patreon requests to fulfill, so I'm either going to film them today or I'm going to film them tomorrow. You'll see them throughout the week, I'm sure, but you don't need to know that. I'll see you when I look at you. You'll see me when you look at me. Thanks so much for watching.